At one point, Emmanuel Adebayor was one of the most infamous football players in England. But now, nobody talks about him. What happened? Well, looking at Adebayor's Premier League record, he actually had a pretty decent time in England. His first season at Arsenal obviously wasn't productive. You don't really expect players to really deliver in their first season, especially as a young player. His second season, he got 8 goals in 29 appearances, which isn't exceptional, but that is a bit better. But in his third season at Arsenal, he got 24 goals, which is impressive. Now, he had 36 appearances, so he had a lot more opportunities to score goals, but regardless, that is a very, very good return. However, in his fourth season at Arsenal, it was disappointing. He only got 10 goals, which if you score 24 goals in a season, you want to try and back that up in the next season, at least getting 20 goals. He didn't manage that. He didn't manage that. Obviously, he played less games, so he had less opportunities to score goals. But regardless, he's got to be doing a lot better. Going back to his injury record, that probably prevented him from being able to replicate that exceptional season. But either way, I feel like he could have done a lot better. After that, he moved to Manchester City and he got 14 goals, which once again is a decent return, but a player of his talent, he should be doing, a lot more. And then in his second season with Man City, he only got 1 goal, which, obviously when you only play excuse me, when you only play 8 games, you're not really giving yourself an opportunity to really deliver. After that, he went to Tottenham Hotspur, getting 17 goals. So he's slowly getting back to that. Well, slowly. It seemed like he was getting back to that, top form that he had when he was in his prime at Arsenal. Funny enough, he was playing for Tottenham, which is kind of ironic. But either way, that was a decent season. And yeah, obviously, the more games you play, the more likely you are to score goals, especially if you're a striker. It's not rocket science. Oh my god. Excuse me. It's not rocket science. So, the fact that the more games Adebayor plays, the more goals he actually scores. And it's kind of almost a shame for him that he wasn't able to stay fit for longer periods of time during each season, because had he done so, he would have been a lot sharper the majority of the time, and he probably might have even hit legendary status because he was a talented player, but his body just let him down, like with so many other players. So then we've got all these other seasons, which, not that productive, although in the 2013-14 season with Tottenham, he got double digits, 11 goals, so that was decent once again, but he was a player that was getting older, so he wasn't necessarily going to improve. And yeah, that's about it. What do I think about Adebayor overall? Well, I think Adebayor was, a decent player. He was a very good striker. I don't think he was that clinical though. I thought he was a player that, could have worked more on his game. Although when you're having so many injuries, you can't really improve that much because you're constantly having setbacks. I think his best period was at Arsenal. Obviously, when you stay at the same club for long periods of time, you get used to the system, the manager and the players. So, your overall game has a chance to really um, hit new platforms. Um, But yeah, just a player that, really didn't do as much as he could have had he, excuse me, oh, my throat today. Had he worked on, trying to, stay fit and really work on not having so many injuries, which it is possible. People say that, you are unlucky if you have injuries, but, we've seen players before have recurring injuries and manage to fix them. So if Adebayor would have done the same thing, he would have fixed those niggling long-term injuries that were just occurring. He would have, he would have been able to stay fit for longer periods of time and made the most or made more of his career. And that's about it.